through the fire academy, you don't get that type of training.
You don't?
No, I mean, the training you get is going into burning buildings. They have burn buildings on the fire academy site, and teaching you how to put out fires, how to be safe. Okay, I mean, but no one is trained for something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys, it was normal for these New York City firefighters to go up 40 flights of stairs or whatever it was, and check out on check a fire and even fight fires in high rises. But no one ever expected those buildings to collapse like they did. I mean, we saw them all go down. It's like, you knew right away no one was going to escape.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And we all remember where we were, don't we?
Yep.
And that's a good point. Yeah.
It's one of those iconic events now
I
that
think
everybody
I was at
remembers.
the Fisher School voting.
Really? Yeah.
I decided to go early in the morning.
My kids, I always had home, day off, because I was working shift work. My son was 4, my daughter was 2. I'm trying to keep them quiet as I'm watching this, because it was just so amazing, glued to the TV. But and that brings up another good point. All the shows this week about the children of 9/11. I mean, all grown up now. It's just amazing to hear their stories, that they can talk about it. And as I'm watching it this week, I'm thinking, geez, the show is just awesome. There's so much involved in the families, the children. And, we all know of someone, in 9/11, or someone who knew someone. So we're all touched by this. So I think it's a great play. I can't wait.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, because we talk about the 343 firefighters that died, the 3,000 people that died, but really it directly touched how many thousands or more family members and families of families, and then the whole nation. One of Joan's speeches about just that, about how the circles and the ripples, how it really touched all of us directly.
Yeah.
Right.
So how did you get yourself in the frame of mind to do this role? How did you go about it?
Well, it's an interesting question. When I first learned about that we were going to do the show, I went to Marianne and said, "You need a fire captain. You've got one." I really wanted to do this role, but as I thought about it, I mean, think about a lot about what happened on 9/11, but kind of one of the things you do as an actor is think about how you handled loss in your own life and how it affected, So I think about when my own father died. I mean, he had a good, full life and all, but how that affected me, and, how you deal with personal loss. It's kind of the things that, as an actor, you do to channel these kinds of things. Because obviously I was not directly affected by what happened. I didn't know anybody that died that day. So those are the kinds of things that you think about as an actor, and then the lines themselves, the way it's a beautifully written play, and reflect on what this fire captain says, and what's going on in his own mind and his own heart, the kinds of things that you try to grapple with as an actor.
So you're drawing on your own experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Always. I mean, I think that's the core of acting, is to take what you've experienced and imbue that into the lines and the character that you're playing. And as playing Joan, when 9/11 happened, I was working. I was outside of it, and I felt very frustrated that there was nothing I could do to help, except maybe to comfort people around me who had known people in the towers or in the planes. And so I can definitely empathize with Joan feeling like she wants to do something, but she doesn't know what to do until Nick calls her, and she finds that she can contribute through her skill with words.
So do you remember back when you first found out that you were going to play this role? What was the very first thing that you thought of?
A lot of lines to memorize. I've done a one-woman show before, so I wasn't really afraid of memorizing the lines. But still, it's every time you do it, it's daunting, and you have to face it. I know that the first time we did a read-through, we were both in tears by the end of it.
Really?
Yeah. It's a very, very powerful piece. I first read the play shortly after it was published. I think it was probably the spring or the summer of 2002. And I immediately wrote to the play committee and said, can we do this play? Yeah. And we already had our season set, so we couldn't do it that year. But I've always had it in the back of my mind as a piece that I wanted to do. And, this spring, was it spring? And I realized that this is the 10th anniversary of 9/11, and this is now the time to do this play. So it's been a little bit of a skunk works. I mean, Peter and I have been working on the lines. Christine Grudinskis has been directing it. Yeah. But we've been working on it on the summer around our other things. And, we also have another show in production here in town, so we've been sharing the stage with them. And But it's a very small, tight-knit crew that's been working on this. And I think we've all been touched by it, and very glad that we're doing this.
Mike, when you're at the firehouse and that alarm goes off, what's the very first thing you think of, or is it just automatic? I mean,
well, when the alarm goes off?
Yeah.
Well, through pre-planning, you think of the building you're going to right away, whether it's a residence or whether it's a commercial building. If it's a commercial building, what do they do there? So as you're getting ready to respond, you already got that in your mind, where you're going to. It's like you're pre-planning before you're doing a size-up, is what they call in the fire service. So, what are we going to encounter? What could we encounter? And, what's in the surrounding neighborhood? If we do have a building fire, you start thinking about, what would you have to do to evacuate? So it's called size-up, and you're always thinking that. And it's through your pre-planning, knowing your buildings, knowing your neighborhoods, your residents, and maybe from previously going to homes that you've been there a number of times. So that's what we're thinking. So,
in fact, Nick talks about that.
He does. It talks about sizing up the fire. I mean, at one point he does talk about that in the character. Yeah.
That's an important part of any fire. Any incident is a size up. Doesn't have to be a fire.
Right.
So.
Right.
Well, there are other people involved, and we should talk about some people who do the sets. And
Well, there's no set.
Oh, really?
No.
It's a very minimal set. Yeah.
There's furniture. It's a little bit like this. There's furniture. Some props. Very small. I love this play. No prop. Very few props. A couple of coffee cups.
Right.
Notebook. That's about it. My son, Anthony Lapis, is doing the lighting design.
Oh, great.
And so actually he and our technical director, Dan Sheehan, are at the theater today, hanging up the curtains and, getting the lighting focused and gelled and ready to go. We've got front of house staff. Nanette Cummings is house managing, so she's taking care of the ushers and the concessions. Let's see, Stuart Patterson is doing the sound. And we are doing a special tribute to the firefighters at Walpole. Dan Bustler Photography has gone down to the fire station, and he has taken a whole bunch of pictures, and they look great. I've seen the proofs. And so we're going to have some portraits up in the lobby. He's also done a collage of the 3 firehouses that are in Walpole. I didn't even know there was a third one, so I was surprised to hear that. And they're going to be mounted on a big board, and it's going to be displayed in the lobby. And we'd like everybody who comes to the show to write something on the board to say thank you to the Walpole Fire Department if they've been affected, if the fire department has come and helped them out, or if they just want to say thank you. And then we're going to give that board back to the fire department when it's done on Sunday. So everybody, I hope, in the community can come and say thank you.
Yeah, when he first came in, was it Dan, did you say?
Dan Bustler,
to sit down and talk to me about taking pictures. And to be honest, that's when I get really excited about this play. Because his emotion, what he was looking to do, and, he explained to me about the panoramic of the stations with the apparatus in the bays, and, how he wants to get guys at their, just at their, like, I guess you'd call it their norm, and the pitches. And after seeing a lot of the pitches, it's like, geez, I wish he came in when I was on duty. But, it would have been nice to have a keepsake, for myself. Just send them back. But he offered up the pitches to the guys, too, which was great, so... I mean, to have them have their pictures taken by a professional photographer for keepsake was great.
Yeah, he
So-
came in at shift change, I think. So
He
tried
did,
to
so we
get-
had 2 groups, yeah, so he came in early in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, I think he set up around 7 in the morning and started taking his pictures and got the group coming off and the group coming on. So, and like I said, they were all very pleased, the ones that got their pictures taken that were able to, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I guess they'll be displayed in the lobby
We're
or on
gonna
the
put 'em up-
walls or
yep,
something.
we're going to put them
so-
up in the lobby, and,
Yeah.
and then you get them back out.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Dan's excitement, I think, is a reflection of what
Yeah.
we feel. And we do, several shows a year, and Marion and I are usually involved in some way with every show that we do, either on stage or backstage
Yeah.
or in some other way. But, this show has some, it really is particularly important, certainly to me as an actor, to be able to participate and reflect on something that was so important in the history of this country, and we talked about the frustration 10 years ago about really being able to do nothing except watch the TV and wish you could do something. And here's, at least in a very small way, reflecting in this part, sharing with people the courage and the humanity of these people.
Well, you say, Marianne, did you say that Christine is directing?
Yes, Christine Grudinskis, yeah.
So some of her ideas about how to do this?
This is the first time she's directed, and
Yeah.
she's AD'd for me. She's been the assistant director for me on many shows, and she's assistant directed for other directors in the Footlighters as well. And I've been teasing her for years, you should direct. She's got a great eye. She's really got a good eye for actors. And so her role basically has been coaching us, helping us to find things in the text and react to each other, and because it's a two-hander, it's 2 people. We don't have to do a lot of blocking and staging, but
it's all on your shoulders.
It's on our shoulders. Yeah.
So do you think of anything in particular that she came up with that?
Well, I mean, on a very basic level, Chris is really good at we talked about the lines and some of the difficulty with some of the lines. She's real good at giving you little hints at helping you remember important lines. Like at one point, Nick talks about his own avocation as dancing, and I kept blowing one of the lines, and she gave me a little bit of a line saying, here's a hint to remember that line, and I haven't gotten it wrong since.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the little things she does. She's also good at the things about volume and pacing and that sort of thing. As Marion said, there's not a lot of blocking. There's not a lot of physical movement in this play, but she's real good at how to pace things to really capture the emotional resonance in a lot of the lines.
Yeah. Well, believe it or not, we only have 1 minute left. Let's talk curtain times.
Okay. It's Friday, September 9th, and Saturday, September 10th at 8 p.m., and then Sunday, September 11th at 2 p.m.
Okay.
Tickets are $20, and as we said, all proceeds go to the fire department. And we've tried to keep the expenses really low so that we can give as much back to the fire department as we can.
Okay.
And people can buy tickets online. www.footlighters.com.
Yeah. And the phone?
508-668-8446.
I want to thank you so much. I really looking forward to this. I think it's a lovely thing to do, and thank you for keeping us all safe, Mike.
You're very welcome, and thank you guys. Like I said, I can't wait for this weekend. I think I'm going to see 2 shows.
Great.
My wife can't go with me one of the nights, so.
Esthimer, and you've been watching Artspace. That's a funny